Morning. This is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Vorst, illustrated by Ray Cruz, and updated by us. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. Is there a pandemic in Australia? The Gibsons are in our quarantine pod. Today, Mrs. Gibson said we should drive around and get out of our houses. Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I am going to be sick in my mask. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. When we got home, my Zoom connection didn't work. When I finally got on, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. It's hard to sing on Zoom. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul wrote a chat comment saying I wasn't his best friend anymore. He wrote that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I wrote back to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream cone part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. At lunchtime, Anthony took the last 2 cupcakes before I got in the kitchen. He ate one and gave the other to Nick. I am sick of being with my brothers all the time. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was because after being closed for months, the dentist office was open again. Mom took us all after school, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. Do they have dentists in Australia? On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then, when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered. We passed the shoe store on the way home, but it was closed. So Mom ordered sneakers online. Anthony got white ones with blue stripes. Nick got red ones with white stripes. I wanted the blue ones with red stripes, but they didn't have my size. Mom ordered me plain old white ones, and we didn't even get balloons like we would at the shoe store. Dad was in his office at home. He said I couldn't play with the printer, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, Please don't come into his office anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that, even in Australia.